Welcome to Rock the Life, a podcast for fans by fans. I'm Katya.
I'm Amie.
We are recording this in July of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last few days, Ozzy Osbourne passed away. Before he passed, we had done an amazing recording with Amie of Amie's Music Machine, talking about her experience at Ozzy's last show in Birmingham. That amazing show that just was the beautiful rock community getting together. So today we do pay tribute to one of rock's most iconic voices, a man
Legend.
who defied expectations, survived chaos, gave the world a sound, first with Black Sabbath. And they formed in 1968. I mean, if we're going back, Black Sabbath was like one of the originators of heavy metal. They gave us Iron Man, War Pigs, Paranoid. And then when, Black Sabbath broke up, Ozzy came back even stronger. And with Randy Rhoads, Crazy Train, like one of the most iconic songs. And since Ozzy's passing, I've just been absolutely touched watching like school kids doing an xylophone performance to Crazy Train. It's just one of the most amazing songs. His like solo career exploded. I mean, symbol of survival, and reinvention. Decades of controversy. I remember as a little kid always hearing about that crazy bat incident from the 80s. That was like legendary. And then it was in, 2002 when the Osbourne show came on MTV. It just turned into a peek inside the lifestyle of the Osbournes, which just introduced us to this like funny, charismatic, like it was a riot. And like I think that's the precursor to so many
absolutely
musicians, other famous people, the Kardashians, like going behind the scenes in their lives. And it felt, I'm sure part of it was scripted, but it really felt more unscripted because it was new. It was, Ozzy and his dogs is just like still it was like just so heartwarming. It was like the Prince of Darkness with his little pooches, and like he loved them. So that was, just so much to say about Ozzy Osbourne. But today what we're going to talk about is that amazing show in Birmingham, England that brought together Black Sabbath. We had Guns N' Roses, we had Metallica, we had Youngblood, we had Steven Tyler coming back to sing. They said there were about 40,000 people at the concert, but it streamed to millions of people. And it raised over $180 million for charity, supporting hospice and children's hospitals in England, the Parkinson's Foundation. I mean, I'm just getting out chills even talking about this. Ozzy Osbourne performing seated 2 weeks before he passed. And, I've heard other things that said like Sharon Osbourne is just putting the show together. It gave Ozzy a sense of like purpose. And he was so excited for this show. I mean, I have been poring over so much Ozzy Osbourne. Just in the last week, because it's so much to think about. And I have to say, Amie, who we're interviewing, does such a beautiful job of talking about the concert. And as you'll see in our interview with her, we laugh. I mean, we laugh and cry again because it was so. Her experience was so amazing. I'm so glad she got to experience it. And we recorded it before he died.
Yes, we recorded it, so you'll kind of get our sense of wonder and awe at her adventure. I've heard comments and people saying things like he fulfilled his purpose. He did what he needed to do. He tapped the brakes. He said goodbye to the world. in such an
Amazing.
admirable and amazing way that
On his
it's
terms.
just. And I remember as a kid, before really getting into rock, hearing the stories and just being so scared of Ozzy. Like I got into like AC/DC and of course Bon Jovi and Def Leppard and all of those, but my first Ozzy Osbourne tape wasn't until, I think it's Diary of a Madman. Is that what Crazy Babies was on? That was the song that kind of got me. It was the same time as Close My Eyes Forever with Lita Ford. It was No Rest for the Wicked, sorry. And
No rest for the wicked.
I knew Diary of a Madman was wrong. But that was the era. And then as I got older and I actually started listening to lyrics, I'm like, what, this isn't,
It's
some of
not
it's
scary.
it's not scary, it's life. And it's the discovering of things like, TV preachers who are stealing money, it's
Suicide.
the hypocrisy that
Yeah.
Ozzy like brought to light. And no wonder so many people wanted him to be, you know feared
Banned.
to a certain extent,
Yeah.
right? And I just remember
Yeah.
when I started listening and like really listening, I was like, huh,
Hmm.
this is poignant. It's not scary. With
And Amie, what also comes out is, and forgive my lack of thinking of it at the moment, we went to an Ozzy Osbourne show together for your high school graduation.
Mhm, mhm, it was like the day or the day after I graduated, and I remember specifically, I think it was the day that I graduated because we were out until like 4 or so in the morning, and because we
Us,
went driving around. I know,
us.
not us, not us. But we went driving around after the show, and, to be honest with you, we'd met a group of people who invited us to a party, and we just couldn't find the party. There was no, what is it, GPS? There was none of that. We just couldn't
No
find it.
texting.
So yeah, and so we ended up, giving up and calling it quits and then driving home. But I went to Muir Woods with my dad, my stepmom, and my sister the next day. Literally, like they picked me up at 9. We got home at 4:30, and I was ready to go by like, oh,
That's no,
yeah.
but that, we were young. We could do that. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, other fun things with fun, I'll say with for Ozzy this week, seeing it is, we were both talking about Dawn Crash did a little story on Instagram. What was that one, Amy?
Oh my gosh, if you don't follow, okay, if you don't know who Don Crash is, he's the drummer for Heat in Sweden. Okay, it's a Swedish band, so Heat. We've had Eric Gronwall on the show. Eric used to sing with Heat and still great friends with the guys. And John posted this thing about, hey, a friend sent me this photo saying this really looks like you. And, he goes, that is me. And the person who sent the photo said, no, it's Ozzy in 1977. And you look at the
Wild.
similarities because he flashes the screen back and forth, and you're like, oh my word. It
It's
is
wild.
wild. I love at the end where he's kind of like, Mom? It
No,
cracks
he
me up
is.
every single time.
He,
But it's like, "Hey,
yeah,
Dawn,
no,
at least you know how you're gonna age possibly. Like, you know what you're gonna look like in 20,
no,
30, 40 years." So
that was another one of my favorite things for
mhm,
Ozzy this week.
mhm,
But and Amy, I think everyone's gonna love hearing the story
mhm.
of the
Yeah.
Wish You Could Have Been There for the
Yep.
Ozzy concert and seeing Black Sabbath again. That would have been,
Mhm.
oh yeah.
I know.
Back to back to Birmingham, back to the beginning.
Yeah,
That's the
back
name of the
to the
concert.
beginning, and I
That's what
I
they
love,
titled
like,
it as.
Amy's story. She's gonna touch on a few other things that we're super excited to share. In this intro, of course, we're focused on Ozzy because of the news and, just, you know, trying to remember all the good things. I mean, an icon of rock and roll has left the stage, and it's a big deal. So, throughout this interview with Amie, you guys enjoy the Ozzy part of the story and get excited for her other part, which we'll touch in a few minutes after we speak with her. But we hope you enjoy Amy's story. It's a rock and roll story, man. Oh my
Fantastic.
gosh. Yeah. All right, you guys. Here's Amie.
Hi, Amy. Amy and Amy.
So
Welcome
exciting.
back.
Right?
If you could only have heard Amie with a Y and I talking about you for the last, I would say at least a month or so, following your adventures, just like loving it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, how are you?
Great. Just coming off from the high of England and everything that's been
Oh my
happening for the
gosh.
past month and a half. It's just been amazing. Yeah.
So,
Oh
now,
my gosh.
how long were you in England?
I left on July 4th and I got back on the 13th. So 9
Okay.
days, something
Yeah.
like that.
And
Okay.
just give us a highlight of what you did when you were in England.
I mean, I feel like the Ozzy show was just in and of itself like just a story that nobody could really tell or predict, or it was like something bigger than anything else I've ever been a part of.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're gonna go there. We're gonna hear
Yeah.
about this one. And so Amie, I have to tell you, we're super excited. Number one, about hearing your story. But number two, because we are celebrating with you. We are officially a year old. So we've been going for a
Yay!
year, which for Katya and I is a huge, huge deal. So we're so
Congratulations.
excited. Yay! And I can't think of a more perfect story
Yay!
for Rock the Life's, what is it, anniversary, birthday, whatever, than your last 6 weeks. Because okay, so I gotta know, you've been in a music video now. You're now like Bobby Brown, like, and we're gonna equate that because you're just cute as a button. So we're gonna draw that comparison, and so now we just got to get you a little cherry necklace to go with your heart. And okay, sorry, hope that was okay.
No, Amy's the heart. That's her
Yeah,
signature.
yeah.
It's so funny that you say that.
Why?
It's so funny that you say that because that was the end all be all rocker girl to me. Like when I was growing up, I think to everyone, for everybody, it was like, she was the end all be all. And like when I started getting back into this scene, and I was just like, I did have her image like constantly on repeat in my mind because she just was like that ultimate rocker girl. So like, it's funny how you're saying that it's like a modern full circle 2025 moment,
That's awesome.
It
You
really
are
is.
our ultimate rocker girl now. Yes.
Right?
Okay, so this is what we're alluding to. You were in Lorraine Lewis's video.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? Tell us the story.
It's actually funny. Lorraine and I have become friends. Prior to the music video, we had established a friendship over time. And it was just like, I met her I didn't actually even formally meet her. I just had like started having conversations with her through my friend Dawn, who she had her on her podcast, and I was supportive of that. And then I had gone to a show in 2024, January of 2024. I went to see Quiet Riot, Stephen Piercy, and Vixen, who she was at the time fronting for.
Right.
And I had posted a lot of like promotional stuff and tagged her in it. And she's just the most like down to earth person you'd ever hope to meet. She's a rock star through and through, but at the end of the day, she's just a woman like you and me that believes in independence and living your life like you want to, and all of these amazing things. So we really connected on that level of like doing whatever the hell you want to do in life, and being supportive of other women who do the same.
Amazing. So tell us about the video. Tell us about the video shoot.
She told me, and I guess a few other people, that she was, signed with Cleopatra Records, and that she was going to be releasing a song that she had written. And, you know, we were all ecstatic for her. You know, every milestone and step along the way is something to be celebrated. So, and then she was talking about shooting this music video and asked if we would come to LA, Dawn and I, to be a part of it. And I was just like, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't even believe she was asking me. You know, it's like,
right.
It's like a no brainer. Like, of course.
Seriously.
I mean, you want me in this? I mean, there were like hired male models and actors to be a part of this. And I'm like, I absolutely will do that. So, but it was like it's all about timing at the end of the day. And there were like some scheduling conflicts, and we were trying to get on the same page with that. And, you know, we were able to all come together. And it was, I mean, I was in LA for 16 hours, and I would think I was awake for 28 straight. I mean, I had flown to LA from Maryland. I'm at my parents' house now, but I was at the time here as well. Right. And I had flown from Baltimore to LAX, flown back to LA or back to Maryland, and then had to get in my car and drive to New Jersey home. You know, it was crazy, but it was the experience of a lifetime and amazing. She's every bit the performer, and amazing woman that you would think that she is.
So, Amie, was this your first music video?
No. It was my first music video in the sense that it was like planned. I was in a Heaven's Edge video, that I knew they were going to be making a music video at the show, but I didn't know if I would actually have a part in it. And I ended up having like 5 seconds in it. And then there was another local Philly band that was recording their video during one of their shows, and I was in that as well. So in a sense, it is my first like invited, like an invitation to be in a music video. Yes, but it wasn't the first one.
I also have to ask, you do amazing with your outfits, hair, and makeup. Was it done for you, or did you bring your own self to it?
I did all my own hair, makeup, outfits, all of that. Yeah. And it was stressful because I wanted to make sure that I had like the right look for her, you know? And she gave me some great, like, we had like some great ideas. Like, she wanted to do like a 90s like guest model aesthetic, which I, you know, connected with. And I actually used to work for Guess at that time, so I knew exactly what she was talking about.
Wow.
And so that was like something that I could go on. So when I was putting outfits together, I could piece together things based off of that aesthetic.
So tell us what you wore.
I just wore like a black lace camisole, a black leather jacket, black shorts, and like ankle boots that had heels.
That was so cute. That's so cute.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, I literally decided probably like 30 minutes before the shoot what I was going to wear. I just threw stuff in a bag and was like, what do you want me to wear? And I kind of let her choose. But she's like, pick whatever you want.
Right. Hold on. How many outfits did you pack?
Probably 6.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I could have gotten away with just bringing a backpack to the airport because I was going for 16 hours and I brought a full-fledged checked bag, you know, like a full suitcase full of shit. Yeah.
Okay. So, and also tell us, where did you film the video at? Tell us the song. Tell us everything. Did you know the song beforehand?
Oh.
I didn't know what the sound, I don't think I knew, I didn't ever hear the song. I'd never heard the song. I didn't find out until we were on our way to the shoot what the song was called. I believe she told us it was called Living Like There's No Tomorrow. But we had gone over some things about the music video. Like, I knew she was jumping out of a plane, and which she actually did. That wasn't staged. She actually did that. No. And there was going to be like a boat scene. Yeah. And so I was in the last scene, which was the car scene. So yeah, I mean, it was great. It was great to be a part of.
That is so much fun. So, where can people find the video?
YouTube, like, or anything on Lorraine's page. I mean, we've all been trying to just promote it as much as we can and, you know, create a narrative around it, and it's a great song. It's an amazing song, and it has a really, really phenomenal message. And that's another thing, like Lorraine Lewis, the way that she stands up for women and supports women is just so phenomenal to me. Like it was almost more of an honor of being asked to do it as a friend than being paid to do it, because like when you're paid to do something, you just show up. You don't know what's, you don't really have an idea sometimes of like what you're getting involved in. And with this, it was like, I knew what she was trying to do as far as like the message she was trying to send. And I really like just support all of that. It's just such a beautiful
all heart. Yeah, no, this is, I mean, it's okay. And speaking of, also, I'm going to say, we're going to jump now, living like there's no tomorrow.
Wait. I have one
Go ahead,
question.
Amy.
I have one question. You guys had an amazing weekend, though. You were posting like the amazing things of nights out, and weren't you at a pool? And like, tell me really quickly before we jump to Ozzy, how the whole weekend, well, I guess it was 16 hours, but you guys had a night out, right? Like, I was like seeing your guys' pictures
So
in
what
the car
happened
going,
was she got a hotel room at Hotel Roosevelt for us in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So when I landed in the airport, I met up with Dawn. Our planes were arriving at the same time. We took a taxi to the Hotel Roosevelt where we met Lorraine. We kind of got ready there. And then afterwards, we came back there and had like an after party around the pool. So all of the shots that you saw in the photos and all of that, that's where that was taking place. Yeah.
So fun.
It was cool.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay.
And it was like the ultimate like rock star place to have a pool party, because you saw like some rockers come in and just hang out by the pool. And I was like, I had seen a couple of like artists at the Whiskey back in September that were at the pool party. So it was just
that's fun.
Was this her created, Lorraine Lewis created pool party?
We just were all hanging out there. I mean, it wasn't
gosh,
even
so
it wasn't even like it was very impromptu. Like nothing was really planned. We were just decided we were just going to hang out by the pool after we got back and relax, because we had been traveling and trying to get this music video completed and everything. And yeah, it just was just one of those magical nights that you have, that was spontaneous.
Okay, Hollywood is still alive. Hollywood, yes, the Hollywood vibe is still alive. So I love that.
It is.
That's awesome.
Ozzy Osbourne last show. Tell us what was your reaction when you heard he was playing the last show? How did you get yourself to England? Like, I need that backstory to begin with.
I'm crazy. Like, I feel like some people have this thing in their brain that's logic that keeps them on a path that I just, for whatever reason, do not have it.
I'm so glad.
And it's a scary place to be sometimes, because I feel like I have rationale, but it's like when it comes to things, I don't really think in terms of like roadblocks. I don't live my life that way. I don't have a mindset where I think, what if I can't do something? That never occurs to me. It probably should, but it doesn't. So when I have an idea of doing something, I just do it. And I don't ever think twice about if it's a good idea, if I'm going to be able to pull it off, if it makes sense, if it's logical. I don't go through those like thinking process of doing that.
So when I get those ideas, when I get those ideas, I call them, I got a wild hair up my butt. That's essentially
exactly what it is.
Yeah. Okay, keep going. So sorry.
So no, it's okay. So about 2 years ago, I was listening to a podcast where the Osbournes were all on it, and Sharon had mentioned that if Ozzy does they were talking about Ozzy doing a last show, and if he did, it would be in Birmingham, and
Mm-hmm.
it would just be like this one final thing, and that would be it. And I kept that in the back of my mind, you know? And then several months ago, I saw the announcement of this show, and I was like, this is it. This is the thing she was talking about on the podcast. This is the last final hurrah. And I just always knew I would be there. It just didn't occur to me that I wouldn't. Even, I mean, I remember when tickets went on sale, I was 30,098 in queue. I was never getting a ticket. I was never,
Okay.
it just was not going to happen. And it, you know, and it didn't. And I even, like, most people would be like, okay, I didn't get a ticket, I'm not going to England. It just didn't occur to me still wasn't going to go. I'm like, I'm still going to England. So I booked a flight, I booked hotel reservations, and I just was like, I'll worry about the ticket after. Like, I just am going to be there, and then it'll come about, you know? So I actually had someone in the music business that I thought he could get me a ticket. And we were kind of like going back and forth about it. And one of his bands that he signed was playing there, but he wasn't going to be there. So it was a whole thing of possibly getting me a ticket. And I was kind of banking on that. I'm like, he can get me in.
Right.
Like, it's not going to be a problem. He can get me in, you know? And so I fly to England, and I land in Dublin, and then I have to catch a plane from Dublin to Birmingham. And that's when I started seeing, like, all the concert goers showing up to the airport. They're all going to Birmingham too. They're all wearing Black Sabbath, Ozzy shirts, and they're all talking, and they're like, "Where are you seated? Where are you sitting?" And someone asked me, like, where are you sitting at the, and I'm like, I don't actually have a pass. And they're like, "Oh, you don't have a pass? Oh, that's so bad. You know, you don't have a pass." And the one guy was like, "There's a Back to the Beginning Facebook group where you can get on, and people are selling their tickets who bought tickets but then couldn't go." So I went on, but the tickets are selling for $4,000.
Oh, shut up.
And I was like, it's not gonna happen this way. And then he also told me that Ticketmaster released a bunch of general admission tickets that same morning. And I was frantically trying to go on Ticketmaster and purchase a ticket. And because my billing zip code didn't match up with now me being in the UK, it would not allow me to purchase a ticket.
I know that feeling.
And I tried like 10 times, and it kept saying zip code doesn't match, zip code. And I'm like, because now people were in my head, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, am I going to see this show, you know? And so I land in Birmingham. I get a taxi to go to my hotel, which I actually didn't have reservations for until the following day because I screwed up my hotel reservation. They were booked for that night, of course. Ozzy Osbourne's in town. So I show up there. I'm in like sweats. I see the owner. I was like, "Look, I don't have reservations until tomorrow. I just need you to, like, I need a place to change.
Help me out.
And I need you to hold my luggage, and I'll sleep on a bench. Like, I'll wait until I can check in tomorrow at 2 p.m. Like, it's fine." And they're like, "Nonsense. You're going to stay here." Like, the owners of this hotel put me in their daughter's room for that night.
I love it.
Completely set me up. Like, just treated me like I was their own daughter. Like, told the daughter she was going home to their country house, and just put me in this space. And I was blown away by that level of generosity, of course.
Yeah.
And then I'm in my room, and I'm like, well, that worked out. I'm like, I guess I'll just get dressed like I'm going to the show and walk to the like, it was right around the corner, walk down to the show. And I walked down to the show, and the guy who was working there's like, where are your tickets for? Because they have color-coded entrances. And I said, I don't have a ticket. And he's like, oh, you have to go to the box office. And I'm thinking, oh, good, I can buy a ticket at the box office. This is great. I go to the box office, and it's essentially just a Ticketmaster rep directing you to go online through Ticketmaster. And I'm like, I said, this is not going to work for me. I said, I came from America. I've never been to England in my life. I've never been to the country before in my life. I said, it's not going to work. It's not allowing me to process this transaction. And she's like, try changing your location to the UK. We did that. Try changing your billing address to your hotel. We did that. We tried 8 more times.
Wow.
Nothing would
Oh
go
my God.
through. And
I feel your
at this
anxiety.
point,
Oh my God.
yeah, PayPal shut down my entire account because they thought it was fraudulent activity. They're
Exactly.
like, this is, you know. And so she looked at me and she said, there's nothing more I can do for you. And I, for the first time, started to feel like all the negativity, all the doubt, probably all the things that people would say in their head, like long before this. And I'm like, and I was like, am I an idiot? I just flew across the Atlantic Ocean. I just like came to a country I've never been to before for a ticket I don't even have to a show I want to, like, it was just, I felt so defeated in that moment. And I started to like feel like I wanted to cry. I'm like, I'm on
No,
the
but you
verge
got
of
this. You
tears at
got
this
this.
point.
You got this.
And so I just turned around and I started walking back towards the venue, and this guy, he's like, what's the matter, sweetie? He was from California. He's like, what's the matter? And I said, I just started crying. I'm like, I just flew from New Jersey. I've never been to this country in my life. I'm just trying to go to this show. I don't have a ticket. Ticketmaster kicked me out 18 times. PayPal shut down my account. He's probably like, this woman is a basket case. So he asked me for my email and I gave it to him. And he said, check your email. And inside of it was a pass. And I was like, I grabbed this guy and I was like sobbing on his shoulder. I was like, you have no, like, you saved my entire life. Like, thank you so much. And he's laughing and like consoling me. And I was like, thank you. He's like, now go enjoy the show, you know? So
Who
I
was
went
this
over to
angel?
the entrance. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I went over to the entrance to try to get in, and it said access denied. They scanned the pass and it said access denied. And I was like, I just got this ticket from this guy on the street, and I swear it's legit. And they're like, no, it's fine. You're just at the wrong entrance. You have to go to the white entrance. You're at the green entrance. So when I walked down to the white entrance, I went through the door. They scanned it. It said access approved. There were like 6 people wearing black suits, like head to toe. And they're like, come with us. And we went up the stairs, and an English girl named Katie greeted me. And she's like, hello, my name's Katie. Welcome to England and the 150 Club. And I'll be your personal assistant. And I'm like, personal assistant? What's going on here? And they're like, this is what your past. So I ended up being put in the VIP section of this venue. That apparently this venue is a football, soccer stadium throughout the year. And people who live there are a part of this club, the soccer enthusiasts, you know, but they also get first dibs on like anything that goes on in the venue. And it's the 150 Club. That's where I ended up. So the pass he gave me was a 150 Club pass. And that's where all the confusion was, because she's like, you're going to walk out there. That's your seat. I went out and peeked. I started crying all over again. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And she put me at a table. It was like a table of 6 chairs, and I was the only one there. And this guy at the table next to me was there with his son, who was an 18-year-old guitarist in a heavy metal band. And he's like, I brought my son. And he was talking to me and asking me questions about, how did you get this? How did you get here? And I told him, I was like, I've never been here in my life. I just flew in this morning. And he's like, well, how did you get this pass? I said, oh, a guy on the street just gave it to me. He's like, gave you this pass? And I said, yeah, he just gave it to me. He's like, gave you this pass? And I said, yeah, he just gave it to me. He said, he was like so blown away. He's like, do you know how much this is worth? And I said, no. And he's like, $4,800.
Your guardian angel. Wow. This was your rock
and
angel.
I was like blown away. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. And I never saw this guy again. The guy who gave me the ticket outside the venue, I believe he was like some sort of heavy metal angel. Never saw him.
This is the next like rock movie Hallmark special Christmas feel good story.
on our
is a
schedule.
lie. So true. Amie, okay,
Right?
all I know is like, you deserve this. You deserve it. And like someone is looking
Wow.
down on you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
crazy. It took a while for me to grasp like everything that was happening in that moment. I was so overwhelmed, and there were times where I would just break out in tears, and people would come up and say, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes." And Katie, my personal assistant, would be like, "She's just a bit overwhelmed. She's fine. She's just a bit overwhelmed." And there were times
Did
where
she
I would
offer you a
just
spot of
cry.
tea?
I know, right? Right?
There were times where I'd cry, and the guy next to me would be like, "Are you gonna cry again?" I'm like, "I just might cry."
You're like, you have
Okay,
no
so
idea.
now I'm going to ask, how long was this show from beginning to end?
Oh.
How long were you there at the stadium?
I got in there. So the show started before I got in there, like a lot of the opening acts. I actually did miss the Youngblood performance, which I'm sad about.
Oh, yeah.
I think because I hear it's phenomenal. I heard it was a phenomenal, life-changing thing. And I think as he was singing, I was coming into the venue. Okay. So it must have been around 2 or 3 p.m. their time that I had entered there. And they had a lot of like basic opening things had started, and then his performance. But I saw all the bands that I, would expect to see: Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. Steven Tyler was a surprise. I don't think he was listed as a performer ever.
Because he's been struggling.
Wow.
We didn't think he would perform, right? We never thought we'd see him perform again.
And I was at his very last show where he hurt his vocal cord.
Oh my
So
gosh.
everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're so glad you got to see that show," because they canceled the tour after that,
Exactly.
and I was there.
Wow.
And he did amazing. So when he came on stage, I was freaking out all over again. I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's here," It was just so phenomenal to be a part of that, and to know you were watching something that like was going to go down in history as like one of the most like momentous rock and roll memories of all time.
Metal shows.
I mean, just Ozzy Osbourne for me was like the godfather of rock and roll. It was like not really an attainable person, like he's just one of those people that was very kind of like mythical, and you knew he existed, but you would never think you'd get a chance to like experience that.
Did you ever see Ozzy before?
No.
I've never seen Ozzy.
That's why it meant so much
Ozzy.
that I go, because I had never gotten to see him. And as a child, like I remember the Shot in the Dark video where like the girls turn into like werewolves or vampires or something at the end of it. I remember watching that when I was like 7 years old. So it was just one of those core rock and roll memories for me.
Tell us more about the performances. So was Ozzy, and I've seen glimpses and pieces, and I've tried to watch as much about the show as I can. I didn't get to watch it live stream, which I heard millions of people did get to do. Was he sitting on stage on his throne the whole time, or did he come on and off? Because it was a long concert.
From what I understand, he was strapped in that chair because of his Parkinson's disease. And I did not honestly think he was going to be able to perform the performance that he did. I mean, like, he did a phenomenal job, and I did not anticipate that. I thought that they were going to have other artists come out and perform the songs with him and kind of like work side by side. And he carried that show really all on his own. He did 4 or 5 songs with Ozzy, like as it's Ozzy set, and then 4 or 5 Sabbath songs. And I was just blown away by the whole thing that he was able to do that. And it was just delivered. And, I think he needed that too, because he said, you don't know what this means to me. I've been laid up for 6 years. And he said to have everybody come out and support me like this in the town that I started. I mean, these guys were born and raised 5 minutes away from where this venue, like the show took place. And he really got emotional. He's like, I can't believe this is, but it was like, it was what needed to happen to complete his legacy. You know, it was like that circle was able to have, an ending, a closure. It was just
And
amazing.
So amazing.
did he close out the show?
Yeah, it was Black Sabbath did.
Okay.
So it was Metallica was the last band to perform prior to Ozzy. And then Ozzy performed his songs, and then Black Sabbath closed the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was the Randy Rhoads tribute? Like, that's so cool.
Yeah. It was
Amie,
amazing,
tell us
and they honored him in a very special way, and I would have expected that. Like, you know, they always, if you listen to podcasts, Sharon always spoke highly of him and their connection and their bond. So it didn't surprise me that they had done something to honor him.
So tell us what they did.
They put together like a slideshow of just, you know, performances he was in and you know, moments, I guess, like his more memorable moments in rock, and they displayed that in between sets. I believe it was like prior to the Guns N' Roses set or right after.
Oh.
So from your vantage point, I saw some of your clips that you were doing. Tell us about the people around you and what you were witnessing, the fans' reactions to this show.
I think that everybody, where at least from where I was sitting in those boxed VIP seats that an angel had given to me, I saw people who were on the same emotional level as I was, where we're just taking it all in. And prior to going, a friend told me, he said, "You're going to have an amazing time." He's like, "Just close your eyes and take it all in and be present in every moment, because you're so fortunate that you decided that like you're doing this." I didn't have anyone else there that I knew that was going. So like I didn't have anybody to speak to about this, the build up, the excitement. This was a solo venture. And and I listened to those words, and I remember him saying that to me, and there were times where I just closed my eyes and I was like, I just hope that I never forget this feeling of being here, because everybody there was there to like have that full circle moment of like what Ozzy and Black Sabbath meant to them. And there was a girl that was standing next to me, and she was just like, I would look at her, and there were times where she was very emotional, and there were times, you know, that she would look at me and I was very emotional. And yeah, you really got the feeling that everybody was just grateful, just absolutely grateful to be there and be present.
And I saw during a few moments of this, Sharon Osbourne took the stage. Were you able to be there when Sharon was speaking?
Yeah, it was difficult to hear her though. There were different times that she was present on the stage, and I I believe she was saying stuff, but there was, at that time there was such a bad echo in the microphone. I don't know why, because like during the songs you could hear things just fine, but like when she spoke, at least the time I remember she spoke, it was just very muffled and I couldn't understand.
Okay. Any other standout performances for you from the other bands? Besides Steven Tyler, because I think that would be absolutely spectacular.
I mean, Metallica always delivers, you know, and I think that the strategy for placing them right before Ozzy was intentional, because they knew that Metallica was going to get everybody so psyched up that that was a good placement for them. So, I mean, I had seen them 2 years ago at MetLife, and I mean, the way that they bring together a crowd, their coming out song, it wasn't at the Ozzy show, but normally their coming out song is "To the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly," and people of all ages will chant that song for them prior to coming on stage. So that's like a very powerful thing. But they have a way of just getting everybody together and in that rock and roll moment.
Oh, no, I can't wait. They said there might be like a movie or something else coming out like about the whole show. And I can't wait I think we just need to sit down and watch it and like totally try to experience it from that side. Oh, okay. So, Amie, I'm going to ask you now, that didn't close out your week in England. You did something else extraordinary, which I am still also blowing my mind. Another band that I have like adored, Oasis
Yeah.
in Manchester. Come
So,
on.
so this is what happened with that. While I was plotting and scheming my England trip to see Ozzy, on the back end of that, Lorraine Lewis's favorite band is Oasis. All-time favorite. Like, she loves them. And she's texting us, we should all go to England to see Oasis. And I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm going to be in this country twice, because originally, I think the date she originally gave me was for the end of July. So my interpretation was, okay, I'm going to fly in for this Ozzy show, fly home the beginning of July, and then I'm going to have to fly back to England for this Oasis show. And I'm going to be planning like 2 trips, one in the beginning of the month, one in the end. Then the revised dates were closer to the Ozzy show. And I'm like, well, it doesn't make any sense for me to fly into Birmingham, fly back to the States, fly into Manchester, fly back. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make a thing of it. I'm just going to like make a vacation of it. So I'll just fly in, see the Ozzy show, stay in Birmingham for a few days, take a train to Manchester, meet up with Dawn and Lorraine there, go to the Manchester Oasis show. And then the day after my birthday, the show was the 11th. My birthday was the 12th. I flew back on the 13th. And that
Oh
was
my
just
God.
a whole other experience,
So tell us about the Oasis show. Crazy fans. I mean, I was listening to some of the things you were talking about.
I'm still trying to reconcile this for myself, because I'm in a country I've never been in before. And it's like, I guess any country, there are different regions. So the people are going to be different depending on where you are, right? So like, I mean, if you think of like you travel to Mississippi, that's a whole other culture than if you're going to New York. It's almost like going to a different country. So for me, I have romanticized England since I was a little girl. I just thought every region of England was like being in the presence of the Queen. It was just like, it was going to be very proper and all of that. And Birmingham was lovely. It's an industrial town, but the people there are lovely in every way. Manchester was, for me, it was probably like going to like downtown Chicago or Compton or someplace where the people are going to be a bit more aggressive.
So Amie,
And
I
that
fly
threw me
to
off.
Manchester every chance I can get. I fly there like every other month.
It was a little rough because
Yeah.
like I had almost gotten into a couple physical altercations with people. They're just aggressive, and I'm just not used to like that level of aggression. And when we went to the Oasis show, there was one guy like pushing Lorraine, and I'm like, look, I just need you to like
No.
not touch my friend.
Nope.
I'm gonna need you to take a step back. Like, don't push her, don't touch her. And he's like, he's drunk. They're all
Yeah.
drunk.
They're all
Everyone's
drunk.
drunk. Everyone drinks until they either fall on the ground or they throw up. Like, that's the way that they are. And so, and I've been to my fair share of shows, I would say, and I've never seen an audience like this. It was just, I told him, I was like, you need to back up. Like, and he's like, I'm looking for my daughter. And I said, but your daughter's not here. Like, we're up against the barricade and she's not here. And I said, I don't even really fully believe you have a daughter. I said, you could just be using this as an excuse to like get up front,
And be pushy. Yeah.
This guy left for an hour and a half. and then came back with his daughter.
Oh, just to
to
show you.
prove to me
Yeah, just
that
to
he
show you.
had a daughter. And I was like blown away that he walked through 80,000 people in a sardine can to prove a point. I was like blown away by that. And he's like,
I was like, you
this
rented
is my
her.
daughter. And I'm like, and she was mad. She was 17 and she was mad at me because she thought I was like being disrespectful to her father. And I'm like, look, I just asked your dad not to push my friend. I said, I don't know what's going on here. And she was like, she wanted to like physically fight me in the middle of this show.
Oasis.
And I was like, what is going on here? Like, they don't understand the art of like talking shit, so to speak. You know, like if you went up to one of us and said, you don't have kids, and you're like, whatever, you know, you never think about that ever again in your life. You'd be like, who cares? I'm never going to see this person.
Yeah.
What do I care if they think I have kids, don't have kids, whatever. And that happened twice. I had asked the guy if I could buy a bottle of water off of him, and he had 4 bottles of water. And I was like, I will give you 20 pounds, which is essentially $25 for one bottle of water. And he's like, I need it for my 4 kids. This guy looked like 29 years old. I'm like, you don't have 4 kids. And he came back with all 4 of his high school age children to prove that he had 4 kids.
Oh,
And I was
Amie, I
like,
cannot
I
get
thought I
over
was in the
this.
Twilight Zone. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Like, I've never seen or heard of anything like that in my life.
I love it.
And
I
it's
love
not an easy task. These people there's no such thing as personal space at an Oasis show. They're up against you. So walking through people is a chore. And the fact that he would drag all 4 of his children over to me to prove that he had these kids, which I don't care either way, I was like,
But I'm just going to
okay.
say one thing. Call them, FaceTime them. I don't know, WhatsApp. Like, you didn't have to drag them. Was the Oasis show also at the football stadium where Manchester United play?
It was at Heaton Park, I believe. I don't know if
Okay, so
that's
not
where.
United. No.
Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
anything
that's
about
right.
that.
Heaton Park. It
But
was a big thing about it was so hot that they were worried people would pass out and
yeah,
trying to. Yes, I
it
remember
was.
this.
I mean,
Okay.
they were saying that they were having a heat wave. That was like they considered the heat to be that of that. To us, it was just
Yeah.
like a really hot summer day. I mean, it wasn't anything. It was hot. Yeah, it was hot, but it wasn't like, any big deal. It wasn't worse than Florida
Yeah,
in
exactly. Yeah.
July or,
But for England, it
you
was a
know,
big deal. It
that.
was, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was hot for them.
But was it a great show?
It was a great show. I had to as soon as we got there and we were speaking to these girls who were from there, they asked me, they said, have you ever been to a rock and roll show in the UK? And I said, well, I just went to the Ozzy show, but other than that, I have not. And, I was in box seats and I've not I wasn't on the ground like I am here. And she's like, well, we should probably mentally prepare you that you're going to leave here covered in urine, beer, vomit, and water. And I'm like, huh? And she said, yeah, because people, they won't leave to go to the bathroom. So they're
Just to
just
go
going to
get
pee
their
in a
kids.
cup and launch it in the air. And wherever it lands is where it lands. And that's what they did with everything. You could be hit by something and you don't know if it's beer, vomit, urine, whatever. It took me like a good 10 minutes to mentally prepare myself for that. I'm like, okay.
I was like, give me a
We
box seat.
arrived here courtesy of Lorraine Lewis in a black Mercedes, and we're going to leave here in a black Mercedes covered in other people's bodily functions. Yeah. Yeah. So that took, and I said to the girl, I said, because Lorraine was taking photos with fans, I said, Lorraine, I said, you tell her what you just told me. And she's like, yeah, I kind of heard that somewhere. And I'm like, okay, just as long as you know, this is what we're dealing with. This is,
And
yeah.
how did you leave?
So
Were you okay?
it wasn't as bad as I thought. And I think the reason is because we were next to the barricade section where the first aid was. So we were next to where they were handing out waters, and I think that people weren't launching their specialty cups in that general area. So Lorraine said that's probably what saved us, was that we were near that area and we kind of managed to avoid. The guy behind me said, he's like, I saw something fly like right like over this part of my shoulder, and he's like, that was urine. And I was like, and I saw like 2 drops kind of like land in my hair, and I'm like, oh, like I can't. Yeah, it was. So, but it wasn't as bad as they said it was, but it could have been worse. I think it was the location of where we were.
Plan for the worst. Yeah.
Note
oh my
to
God,
self.
expect the best. That is.
Note to self: hang out near the first
I
aid
just
tent.
have to say, of all, of all the shows I've been to in Manchester, I have never had that experience. So I feel like I have not been going to the right shows and I'm missing out on something.
Oh yeah, count your lucky stars. I mean, I just the whole thing was, it was lovely. Don't get me wrong. Like, we had fun because no matter what,
Oh, that
I'm
would
going to
have been
have a good
wild.
time.
That
You
would have
can
been
put me
wild.
in any country and any circumstances, and I'm going to have a good time. So Lorraine and Dawn and I had a phenomenal time. We did, and I'm very grateful. Lorraine really went all out for us while we were there, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. It
That
was
sounds
just a little bit of a culture shock that comes with when you've never been to a country before and you've never been around people that are like that, and it's
oh my
just
God.
different, and I was trying to really understand why they would do those things, and I still haven't come to terms with it. So
No, I still haven't either. I need to process some of this too. I'm still a little horrified. I might stick to Italy again. Okay, so now, Amie, what's next? What's on the horizon? What's coming up?
I don't know. I mean, I have some local shows. At the end of August and into September, there's quite a few local shows in Philly and Jersey and that sort of thing. I don't really. None of these things that I have participated in have necessarily planned that much.
Right,
Yeah, I
right.
bought a flight to go to England. I booked a hotel room that I really messed up. I mean, and by, grace, they worked with me on that and it just worked out. But I really don't plan too much ahead because I live so presently in the moment. And, as soon as I got back, I had a flight that was rerouted from Philly to JFK. So I had to get an Uber from JFK to Philly to get my car to drive back to New Jersey. And I went to work Monday morning. So
Love it.
and
Love it.
I've been working 10-hour days since I've gotten back. So I just adapt very easily to these things. I go in from work mode to play mode, back to work mode, it just is a natural transition for me. And that's what I do.
That's
So I
well. I
just
have to
kind of
say,
like take things as they come.
this is your
That's
good
awesome.
karma paying,
I don't know.
like treating you well. You deserved all this. This is amazing.
Thank you. I mean, I do. I just, live by a certain code where I'm just kind to everyone. And I expect people to be kind to me. And sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. And, that's
Amazing.
just, I just go through life that way. So,
Like 3 just outrageously amazing experiences within like a month. We're like, and
yeah.
that was July. That was
Yeah.
like
I
June and
mean,
July. I can't wait to hear about August.
I feel like as far as like big moments, there are 3 and I've accomplished 2 of them. One was seeing Ozzy perform. One was meeting George Lynch. And I mean, being on tour with Lynch Mob was just took the cake for that. So it's like, check. And so like the next thing for me that like would just bring everything full closure for me is meeting Slash, which is always something that I've wanted to do. So that will always be in like my peripheral of like something that I need to accomplish, you know.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about it. It's going to happen.
And I think it will happen.
It will happen.
Yeah,
And
I think
can't
it
wait.
will. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I was supposed to
Amie,
meet him last year.
well, you need something to
What
look forward
happened?
to for the rest of the year because it has already been so amazing. But what happened? Why didn't you meet him last year? What happened? Yeah.
I was supposed to meet him, and then he had a tragic death in his family, and it just didn't work out. Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay.
So, you know, it was understandable that was gonna, you know, take precedent over everything else. So he go through that whole grieving process. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Amie, holy crap. Like, wow. I'm just, we're just going to be blown away by your experience. And thank you for sharing it with us. And I really hope that you get to meet Slash and all of the things just keep happening, you know?
And
Thank you.
And Amie, I'm gonna tell you, if you ever find yourself flying to Europe without a partner, just let me know. I'll join you.
Yeah, people were like, why didn't you announce you were going to England? I would have met you there. And I was like, I just didn't even really I just don't really think about it because I don't know what I'm doing myself. So like to tell someone else, to give them an itinerary that doesn't exist, it's like, I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going to happen once I get there. I can't think that far ahead. So I don't know how much thought to put into it. And yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you this.
We can't wait for the next adventure.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be at the Whiskey on August 8th. There you go. That's all I'm going to say. In case you happen to fly out to Babylon AD. They're a Bay Area band. Do you know Babylon AD? Yeah. So
I've heard
they're
of them.
Gonna be they're gonna be out there. And my husband's old band, his bass player, his new band is opening for them. So it's gonna be a full-blown adventure. So
yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun.
But I thought I'd just throw it out there in case for some reason. Sorry about that.
You never know.
Right?
It's a couple weekends away. You never know what'll happen between now and then.
Oh,
yep.
And Amie, and both Amies, the next show that I'm going to in Birmingham is Def Leppard. So I'm also going to throw that out there.
Oh, yay! I love them. I love that band. I can't get enough. They're another band that always delivers for their fans. Their sound is just impeccable all the time.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. That one will be great. Okay, I'm gonna let you two go. I gotta get going.
Good times.
But thank you.
Amie, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so exciting. And until like next time, we're just going to keep tabs and follow along with you and your adventures. So enjoy it.
Yeah, and I can send you some photos over if you want to do like some promotion, have some promotional stuff.
Would love them. Love them.
Thank you, Amie. Do you not want to be Amie IE?
Yeah, right. There are some times when I just think, dang, girl. Oh my gosh.
But you know what, Aim? I love her Instagram. I get such a kick out of her. I am so proud of everything that she's doing. And I just want to say, within this last month, she went to England and did like all the amazing things. It was not only Ozzy, but she saw Oasis. Like the iconic.
With Lorraine Lewis, by the way.
And starred in her video.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, hi. Just, wow. Okay.
No, it's just like, girlfriend, we love you.
I know, right? How many times did we go to a show where we did not have a ticket? We didn't fly to Birmingham for it, but, and it always worked out every single time. I know, right?
I might have done that a few times.
Oh yeah, you will
No,
for
but
sure.
but that's also her good karma
Mhm.
too, because she is
Mhm.
such a lovely person, and
Mhm.
I am so happy how it all worked out. And
Mhm.
so, Aim, are you going to put a link into her video with Lorraine Lewis?
Yeah, that will be in the
Okay,
description. You
okay.
can watch Lorraine Lewis's new video. We've talked about it in a couple other episodes, so it will absolutely be in the description. A link to Amie's Instagram page is also there if you want to go follow her if you don't already. For us, make sure that you like and subscribe. We have some upcoming episodes you are not going to want to miss. And we have or are in the process of putting together a thing. How many times have we talked about this? Putting together a
We're going to
thing.
do it.
We're doing it. Okay, so we have a bit of a Rock the Life community coming together in Las Vegas on February 21st for the Def Leppard show, the residency going on that they have throughout February. So, February 21st, you are welcome to join us. All you gotta do, get your ticket. We have a group kind of going. We're gonna figure out where we're gonna stay. We're gonna try to all stay somewhat close together. And then after the show, we are looking at doing something, whether it be going and grabbing a bite to eat someplace or hanging out, grabbing some drinks. Totally not sure yet, but it's going to come together. We have some time, thankfully. And we would love to have you join us if you'd like to go. So grab your ticket to the show. Let me know. Send me a message via email, amy.rockthelife@outlook.com, or send me a DM on Instagram, and we can add you to the group and include you in all of the information that we are giving out.
It'll be
So,
fantastic.
oh my
It'll
gosh, I
be
can't wait.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and I keep getting messages. I can't wait. I can't wait. And it's going to be a blast. So, come with us. Let's have a good time. Anything else, Katya?
It's been a big week, and I think that's it for now.
Yeah. Next week will be our anniversary show. Next week. Technically speaking, if you look at the date, it's this week, but this is episode 51 and not 52. So we're in between, but we'll celebrate it at 52. So, hey babes, but don't forget, rock the life.
Rock the life.
Oh my gosh, I love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.